gentlemen, Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Dr. Hamadun Toure, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming here today. I would like to make a small presentation on digital Bangladesh. This is a question that has been asked many times: what exactly is digital Bangladesh? Of course, today's focus is on telecommunications and how that relates. Today I will give you a brief on what the distinct segments and areas of digital Bangladesh are. And this being a seminar on telecommunications forms the backbone of digital Bangladesh. All our other initiatives rely on the communications infrastructure to operate, and so without an improved telecommunications sector, digital Bangladesh will simply not be possible. With the election of December 2008, our present Awami League government has pledged to fulfill the dream of Sonar Bangla and to take it a step further. What is digital Bangladesh? It is based on the principles of a Sonar Bangla, of a prosperous Bangladesh where the population is free from discrimination, free from corruption, free from poverty, where there is no hunger, and it is a people state governed by the people, governed by the will of the people. And the digital component is that we will use technological advances now to achieve this prosperity. So what are the initiatives that have been taken so far for digital Bangladesh? Now, most people consider digital Bangladesh to be a new initiative that we have taken prior to this election. The truth is, the concept of digital Bangladesh existed when the Awami League government first came to power from 1996 to 2001. That is when the IT task force headed by the Honorable Prime Minister was first created. Since coming back to power, since forming our government in 2009, this task force has been reconstituted. The task force comprises of all the key ministers. The finance minister, he controls the purse strings for everything, so sooner or later everyone has to go to him. The Ministry of Planning, as they are an integral part of any large-scale development here. The Ministry of Post and Telecom, once again, they form the backbone of digital Bangladesh. The Ministry of Science and ICT, 5 secretaries and other members, including members of the IT business community, telecommunications companies, etc. There are 5 distinct areas of digital Bangladesh. When people think of digital Bangladesh, the one that they think of most is what we call e-governance. This is the government services. So for example, the machine-readable passport project. We have pilot projects to digitize land records, electronic enrollment in schools and universities. All textbooks are now available online. So these are just examples of e-governance services that the government can provide. This has, and I will expand on these in a little bit. The second area is IT education. So in order to use these IT e-governance services, our people have to be educated, at least have a rudimentary ability to use computers, and not necessarily computers. Many of these services can be utilized using mobile phones and in the future other devices as well. The third sector is the IT industry, the domestic IT industry. It is in a very nascent stage right now, but that is a thrust sector because that leads to what is the fourth dimension of digital Bangladesh, which I consider to be the most critical, that is IT outsourcing. We want to make Bangladesh an IT outsourcing hub. And all of this rests on the infrastructure, which is telecommunications. So, with regards to e-governance, in a nutshell, that is providing all government services electronically. The hope is that by the year 2021, any government services, any government information that you want will be automated and will be available electronically. You will not have to go fill out a form in person. Of course, you can still do that if you want to, but you should be able to get online, either fill out a form, submit an application, or get online, get any information from any ministry, from any division of the government. To that end, of course, we have already initiated many projects. All our 64 district governments have their own web portals already so that they can provide local information. And there are any other number of projects. The advantages that e-governance provide is, first and foremost, it eliminates corruption. Once everything is automated, there is less scope for rent-seeking, for extortion, and it also creates an electronic paper trail. That inhibits people from trying to be corrupt, because if they are corrupt, that there will automatically be records of what they have done. Eventually, we're going to have all government procurement, all tenders, everything online. You submit your bids online, evaluations results are posted online, everything is visible and transparent. It also, the second big advantage of e-governance is that it improves the efficiency of government services. Presently, it can take days, weeks, sometimes even months simply to get an application processed through the government. Once the machine-readable passport project is completed, you will be able to get a passport in a matter of days, if not hours. With regards to IT education, our government has taken several initiatives. The first is a goal of providing computers at every school in this country. That is a very big goal, and it requires a lot of funds, but we have already started wherever each ministry can. In some areas, the Ministry of ICT provides the computers, some areas, Ministry of Post. So next we have the goal of developing the domestic IT industry. Wherever possible, all of these, the majority of these e-governance projects, the government encourages that domestic IT companies participate in these projects. We want them to develop the expertise, and so that then they next have the capability and the track record to go bid on contracts in foreign countries. The government has created an enabling environment, and some of these initiatives that we have taken to help the computer industry, the domestic industry, were actually taken by our government during its previous term. For example, we eliminated all import duties on computer hardware and software. Prior to that, you had 150% import duty, which made computers prohibitively expensive. As soon as we eliminated the import taxes, the growth of the number of computers being imported into the country skyrocketed. And another example would be this present, our entire international connectivity presently goes through the submarine cable network that we have. It is one submarine cable. What most people are not aware of is that this cable project was initiated by the Awami League government during its previous term. It was eventually completed during the subsequent government, but it was initiated, the project was created, the project was set up. Prior to that, Bangladesh had no plans to connect to the international, to the internet. And last but certainly not the least, one of the big initiatives that our government is taking is to create several, not just one, several IT parks. Of course, the biggest is going to be in Kalyakor, where we have 300 acres of land set aside, but we have other spots targeted within Dhaka, in and around Dhaka city, for IT hubs, IT parks as incubators for both the domestic IT industry as well as for foreign companies that want to come in and find and be able to set up shop in one location with all the facilities available in one place. The ultimate goal of all of this is to make Bangladesh into a domestic, into an IT outsourcing hub. We have a vast young population that is becoming well educated. Our country has several advantages that many of our competitors do not have. We have the same advantages that India had, and as you all know, India is now the leader in IT outsourcing in the world. Every year, India exports $50 billion worth of IT products and services. The advantages, the primary advantage we have is a much more educated workforce, a young workforce, but most importantly, English is widely spoken in Bangladesh, and the spoken English accent in Bangladesh is very neutral. So for example, for a call center, to train a call center employee in the Philippines or Vietnam takes up to 4 months, mainly to retrain their English accent. In Bangladesh, this can be done in 2 weeks. So this is a tremendous advantage that we have. The hope is that hopefully by the end, definitely by 2021, hopefully sooner, IT outsourcing will surpass our garments industry as our biggest export earner. The potential for earning is many times that of any other industry, simply because this is a much higher end industry. To that end, of course, the government has also been participating in several. We've been marketing the country internationally. The government has sent teams to market Bangladesh in IT expos in the primary markets, the US, Europe, etc. But now finally, this being our focus today being on telecommunications, I would like to come back to what we are doing to build the basic backbone of our IT industry, which is the infrastructure. We have modified our telecom policies, and we continue to. These are all fluid documents. We continue to modify them, as you will see shortly. Our goal is to provide both wired, optical, as well as wireless connectivity, but our goal is not just to connect the major hubs. Our goal is to connect the entire country. And this is something we can do very quickly. Ours is a very small country physically.